Hi, I'm Jason, and this is the Cultural Breakdown. When George Lucas sold the rights to Lucasfilm to Disney, he did so with the impression that they were going to kind of keep what he created or oversaw the creation of and just expand onto it, or maybe flesh out some of the things, perhaps make movies of some of the books that never had movies made of them before. But that's really not what they're doing. I mean, they decanonized most of that, but the stuff that they didn't decanonize, like the movies that they really couldn't have, what they've essentially done is tried to erase what it was that made them special or destroy it. I mean, let the past die, kill it if you have to, sort of mentality. And honestly, I find that really sad. I mean, you get stuff like this. Kathleen Kennedy says new films will move Star Wars past George Lucas's original vision. We'll introduce new characters and start with something fresh. It's not as much as they're trying to move past what his original vision was. They're trying to supplant his original vision of the whole Star Wars universe. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy continued to provide more details about the upcoming Rey-centric Star Wars film and revealed it will move past George Lucas's original vision for the series. Okay, first of all, I'm going to stop that right there. This isn't moving past what George Lucas's original vision is. From what they've said so far about the Rey-centric continuation of this, it's basically what they had in the expanded universe, except you're replacing Luke with Rey this time, which to me seems pretty bad when you can't even come up with anything original. You're basically just doing what he did, but saying you're doing something original and moving past it. But I guess that's only because they're counting on people not really knowing the expanded universe. Most people, to be perfectly honest, we're only familiar with the movies and maybe some of the shows, but that's about it. I mean, so when they can basically just slap a Disney Star Wars label on what was established before as the canon, then people will just accept that. But that's really not the case here. And I don't understand why they're doing this. I mean, it really does just come across as, I don't know, kind of bitter. I mean, it's almost as if Kathleen Kennedy had a grudge against George Lucas for years, and now that she is in charge of Lucasfilm, just wants to destroy everything that was created beforehand. And I really don't understand why. There was a lot of lore there that they could have pulled from. I mean, you could change it a bit or do something with it. I mean, they could move past his original vision, but you don't need to destroy what he created to do that. And honestly, I think people are starting to realize this too. I'm not saying the Disney Star Wars movies were bad. I mean, look, I mean, it made money. I mean, it did pretty good. Last Jedi did pretty good. Rise of Skywalker, yeah, I mean, they all grossed over $1 billion. So I mean, you can't say the movies failed, but I mean, you can't help but notice the diminished returns each time. I think people are starting to get tired of it. And if you look at the Disney Plus shows, I mean, they're just kind of seeing that with the shows themselves. And now you've also even had movies like Solo, which lost money. And I don't know if you could actually reestablish a franchise with Rey. I mean, Rey wasn't a bad character. I mean, at least in The Force Awakens, she was okay. I mean, she kind of reminded me of Luke, and I mean, she's maybe a little bit more capable than Luke in the first movie in Episode 4, but I think it was okay for the most part. But then in the Last Jedi, that's when it kind of took a turn, because whereas in his second movie, Luke did lose his fight with Vader and had to be humbled a bit before he can progress. Whereas Rey, she was always just more capable than everyone around her at all times. I mean, you kind of lose any urgency for a character when you know that they're going to win everything they comes at them. So what's the point of this? And now they're basically just having her replace Luke Skywalker as the head of the new Jedi Order, following everything. They're just kind of pushing back the timeline a bit, but that's essentially what they're doing here. And people are going to say like, oh, well, Luke had that, and that's kind of how Kylo was part of that or whatever. Yeah, that's what they're going to say, but we never really saw any of that from in the movies or whatever. It's just hinted at, and now they're basically just replacing the novels with a Rey-centric story and saying it's an original vision path or an original idea beyond what George Lucas envisioned. It's like, no, if you want to do an original idea, go like something in the future or something in the past. That avoid the whole Skywalker thing entirely. It doesn't have to revolve around Skywalkers. They're just one family in the whole galaxy with lore that spans thousands of years. You can do other stuff. You can even pull from some existing things if you wanted to and really flesh it out. There's lots of books and other stories from the Star Wars saga or the whole expanded universe that there's something that can be done with that. And I think that would be more interesting than what they're trying to do now. They're trying to basically say we're moving past George Lucas, but still basically letting everything that he's done be like the main anchor for it. And it's not working anymore. And I think with the diminishing quality of the Disney Plus shows, you can even see that. And I think most people are picking up on this, and having a race-centric thing won't work unless you really establish that things are different. But with Kathleen Kennedy in charge, I don't think people have any hope, because Rey is clearly a self-insert for Kathleen Kennedy, and she doesn't want to have her portrayed as anything but perfect, because she's just that arrogant of a president of Lucasfilm to do that. At least that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.